delve into Macgregor's analysis of military strategies, geopolitical implications, and how these factors contribute to the likelihood of Israel-Iran war.
Well, first of all, I think you're going to see war between Iran and Israel. Mr. Netanyahu, if he is to sustain this conflict over time, has to expand it. Things have not gone well in southern Lebanon or in Gaza. Hamas is not defeated. Hezbollah is certainly far from defeated. He hasn't even met the main body of Hezbollah fighters. Thousands of fighters are pouring in from Iraq, the Arabian Peninsula to reinforce Hezbollah. So that's far from over. But we have to understand there's something larger at work right now. I think the government in London, as well as in Washington, has decided to back this Greater Israel project with the goal of ultimately clearing Arabs out of southern Lebanon, clearing them out of much of Syria, ultimately dislodging them from the West Bank and Gaza, and eventually throwing at least the Palestinians out of Jordan. Now, this sounds extreme to anybody with any common sense, but these things are actually being discussed. So it's not as though Mr. Netanyahu is waging this ruthless campaign of expulsion and murder on his own. He has support. We are critical, but so are the British. In some respects, I'm beginning to think the British want to relive their empire back in the Middle East. It's very strange. But those comments notwithstanding, right now, he's got to go after Iran. When does he do it? Well, first of all, he understands that any air defense system designed to shoot down aircraft or missiles can be overwhelmed by enough incoming missiles and aircraft. So he understands that. That's why he has demanded and gotten the 2 of the 6 THAAD batteries that we have. This is the Terminal High Altitude Air Defense System with its radar. The radar, of course, is remarkable. It's probably one of the best things that we have ever built. It costs $500 million or $500 million, probably more right now. And with this radar, you can sit in Washington, D.C. and track a basketball over New Orleans. So that's telling you 1,000 miles plus in front of you. It's very important because it not only enables you to accurately attack, well, let's put it this way, you can accurately identify targets at a very great distance and you have lots of early warning. But you're much more likely to hit the target because the missile then has some time to carefully calculate the distance and the time it needs to reach the target. He's also getting the best missiles that we have. These are the top of the line. You can't do much better. And they include interceptors that are capable of stopping everything but hypersonic missiles. Remember, the hypersonic missiles range from 4,500 miles per hour up to 9,000 miles per hour. Nobody can shoot them down. So I think he's going to wait until the second battery is established. But I think the predisposition is to attack before the election. Now, the election is important in this calculus because he's assuming probably, and with some degree of justification, that President Trump will win the election. But he can't be 100% sure. If he waits and it turns out that for some reason President Trump doesn't win, there's no guarantee that the incoming administration is going to stand by him. Whereas he has promises of support from Trump and his agents in the United States that surround President Trump, that the Trump administration, the future one, will be solidly in the Israeli camp and back what he wants to do. So under those circumstances, I think he's decided we have to attack, that is, Israel has to attack Iran before the election and get the war started before the election. Now, when does that happen? 1st or 2nd or 3rd of November? I don't know, but probably somewhere in there. So he'll wait for the additional air and missile defense forces to arrive. They'll be set up. And then I suspect he'll launch his attack, which I expect to be very powerful as he can make it. The only question at this stage is, will he use a tactical nuclear weapon or 2 tactical nuclear weapons or 3 tactical nuclear weapons against Iran's alleged nuclear site. We have ultimately asked him not to do that, but he has these weapons, and he's made it very clear that whatever we want is secondary to his and Israel's interests, and therefore he will do what he thinks is appropriate. The problem, of course, of using a nuclear weapon, Glenn, is that you open the proverbial bottle and the genie comes out, and that makes it then legitimate for others to use those weapons against you. And we know that Iran is close to the threshold of producing warheads that can be weaponized on the missiles available to the Iranians. So hopefully that won't happen, but it could. At any rate, that's the situation he's in right now. Now, then the Iranians will respond. And the question is, at this stage of the game is how rapidly they will respond. Will they respond instantly? Start unloading their missiles on Israel as soon as they discover that they are under attack, or do they wait and then attack? I don't know. But I think that'll be devastating for Israel. It's going to be hard on Iran, but Iran is a nation of what? Almost 90 million people. Iran is the size of Europe, Western Europe. Of course, they have 2 large deserts internal to the country. There aren't very many people in those, obviously. So populations are concentrated in a few cities, but you do have a large rural population. So Iran is going to absorb it, and then they're going to strike back, and they will have every bit of help that Russia and China can provide to them.
Thank you for watching. The information in this video reveals truths that are often hidden from the public by mainstream media. Help us spread these facts by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with others. Together, we can counter the misinformation and bring real awareness to more people. Stay informed, stay aware, and see you in the next one.